In a world where hopium and common sense collide, starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Welcome. It is another beautiful TA Thursday. It's your boy CryptoKeeper. We got BlockchainCrusader as always. And our Thursday night special new guest, this is going to be a continuing thing, CVO Crypto, Mr. Paul himself. How are you doing, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing well. Miguel, what'd you say?
Doing good, buddy. Always a pleasure to have you guys have me on here. So looking good.
Still getting set up. Let me do a little market watch while Paul's getting set up. Miguel, I just shared my screen. Let me zoom in a little bit and let's get it on. Okay, cool. So we always do this. We talk the biggest gainers. I just want to point something out right now. If the biggest gainer on CoinMarketCap is Squid Game. Okay. Now, for those of you that haven't watched this is a game about humans competing and dying. Some of you make me want to beat my head against a wall with some of these investments that you call that make me want to go play Squid Game. I'll tell you what. So number 1, Squid Game. Number 2, Green Moon Zilla. And number 3, Ashera. Let me talk something real quick on this. The reason that you're always going to hear these ridiculous big is because the market caps are so small that they are just absolutely simple to move. It doesn't take nearly the amount of liquidity to move these around. That's why they're the biggest gainers. And that's why you always see these, especially, you know what, right now, and I think we're going to talk to Paul about it. We are in what I would call the start or the middle of meme coin mania. So we're going to get into that a little bit tonight because we've got to talk about it. We can't avoid it. But down on the watch list, we've got Bitcoin at 61,319. It's up 4.82%. We've got my girlfriend, Paul's daughter. I'm dating his daughter. 10.92% up on ETH. Hey, guys, listen. Smash up the likes. If you want to see a new all-time high for ETH, I need you guys to X out of the live chat and smash up those likes, right? Because we want to see a new all-time high. You want to see a new all-time high, and why not while we've got the stream going?
Drop it in the chat, guys. Drop it in the chat. All-time high ETH right now. All-time high ETH.
That's right. ATH, ETH gang in the chat if you guys are in the ETH gang. And then we've got 3, 4, and 5. Binance Coin, Tether, which I never really count, but Cardano, and then number 6, Solana, number 7, XRP, Polkadot. Going on down the list, it is a pretty green day.
Polkadot pumping, dude. Polkadot.
Number 9, Dogecoin, up 28.76%. And number 10, Shiba Inu, down 14.54%. Let me just touch on this real quick, and then we'll jump into it. Shiba, down 14.81%, right? Dogecoin, up 27.14%. Does anyone think that maybe people were taking profits from one meme coin and pushing them into another? I'm just saying. So it's going to be a good night tonight, guys. Again, CVO, Paul, welcome. That's good, Miguel. I'm going to stop sharing that. Let's get into it. Miguel, what do we have on the podium this evening? Do we have anything specific, or are we just kind of getting after it?
We got CVO on the podium tonight, bro. What are you talking about?
Well, we know that.
He's here. He's going to be talking about
topics we wanted to talk to him about.
Well, we're going to be talking about Shiba, right? We're going to be talking about Shiba Frenzy.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about ETH 15K.
No doubt. Let's get it.
And we got the expert. We got the pro right here to give us all the answers.
No pressure. No pressure whatsoever here. No pressure. So, Paul, kick us off, bro. Give me kind of an overview of the market as you see it, and without, a lot of the people know that you are pretty bullish on the long term, but some people don't. So just kind of give us an overview of where we're at right now to kick it off.
So, all right, I'll go ahead. I'll switch and share my screen here. Right. So let's see. Kicking up right there. Cool. I went live too on TikTok as well. So anybody on TikTok here, you can switch over to the YouTube channel. It's under Debate Crypto. So be sure to give these guys a follow. We do this every Thursday. They do, a ton of other content with other creators, and then the two of them just come up with, they do their own show every single day. So great content addition into the crypto space. For Bitcoin, I've been going over these, this basically, Bitcoin in general, every single day for the last, 2 months now on a live stream. I started doing live streams every morning, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern. And essentially, we've just been, having, a major impulse here, a normal correction, next impulse correction. And essentially, we're gearing up for the next leg higher right here, right? So for Bitcoin alone, just for everybody watching, I do anticipate seeing 100K by Turkey Day, right?
Let's go.
Dude, 100K by Turkey Day, bro. That is epic, bro.
100K by Turkey Day, and then 250K by December. Now, in between there is going to be a lot of, it's going to be a huge emotional roller coaster, right? Like, so.
Oh, you think?
And one thing I wanted to mention, or I mentioned a couple times in my live streams recently is like, if you get shaky, this is the daily time frame, by the way, so that's why this just looks super simple. I'll clean it up so we can see all the madness we've been going through the last few days. We basically had this huge whipsaw today, which is just a straight up. If everybody can see, I'm sure everybody knows. You might not have even noticed this today if you didn't pay attention for maybe 2 hours, right? Because this was just basically 61K straight down to 57, straight up to 63, and then it kind of mellowed back out. You might not have even realized we had that today, right?
Is that a big wick, Paul? I can't. It's a little bit blurry on my end. Is that a huge wick? I thought I saw that earlier. I wasn't positive though.
Oh yeah. We were living this live earlier today, right?
Liquidations.
So yeah, man. It was just, like I said, just a sheer whipsaw. This was an easy, and it was within like an hour.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hold on. Let me stop you real quick. What is, for the people that are new to TA, what is a wick saw?
I guess we could call it the wick saw, but a whip saw pattern is just it's just this.
I thought you said a wick saw. You said a whip saw.
Whip saw, yeah. Like when the whip saw just like comes up and back, right? So where we just see like immediate, straight up and straight down price action. They just liquidate over leverage trade. This time frame right now is just to, this is to chop up all the leverage traders for one, and then there's to shake out people like throughout the day, right? Because anybody that like was watching this, if you didn't have, an idea that, where the next levels would be or whatever, people were panicking, right? Thinking that, we were going down. I can't remember, some kind of news came out. I don't remember what it was, but it was somebody started circulating and everybody got really worried. But at the end of the day, like I said, it was like an hour. This is the hourly chart. So in 1 hour, this, dropped to 57, went to 62, and then kind of settled back down. So nothing really to worry about. It's just an interesting day in the market, right?
You have any thoughts on what maybe that's pure manipulation when you see that, right?
Yeah, there's some talk that there was like a pump group, not a pump group, but like a whale group, which whatever. I didn't see it, but in general, this is just normal. It is what it is, right? This is just being in the market. So if you were just in spot trades and you didn't have stop losses, if you're just holding for whatever,
right,
you would have been fine, right? Like I said, most people wouldn't have even seen this today if you had stop losses in play, if you had leverage trades. That's where this would have came into become an issue. And especially if you took, leverage longs towards, right when we broke the all-time high and stuff like that, because this is like right at the nitty gritty. Because this makes this entire move here, because it did drop a little bit lower. So this is almost a 15% pullback now, all in all, from 67K. But all in all, everything is good, right? So, a lot of people, you can.
So CVO, so we got somebody in the chat, right?
Yeah.
They're new to TA apparently. So can you explain to them this formation that you have, this this wedge, this channel that you have Bitcoin bouncing in? Because he says it looks like it's going down to me. Explain to them why this is a bullish pattern for Bitcoin.
So all in all, you have these formations here, which this is a downtrend right here. So this is actually called, pretty much known as a bull flag, right? So you get this a flagpole, which is basically this impulse higher. And then you get some downward consolidation, right? People take profits, think this and that, right? And then this allows for all the indicators and everything to reset. And essentially, this could continue lower. These come into, retracement levels, certain percentages, like we could pull up a fib here, Fibonacci retracement. So this would show like certain levels of support below this. And then essentially these break to the upside 68% of the time, right? It's a continuation pattern. And then vice versa, right? You actually have when you have parabolic moves like this, this would actually be looked at as, a rising channel. I'm just putting as an example here, right? So, this would be looked at as a rising channel here, right? And then these tend to break to the downside 68% of the time, right? So then we kind of just move from pattern to pattern. So as you see here, you had a bullish pattern. Even though it's going down, it's going to break higher. And then you come into this bearish pattern essentially as we're actually going high. And it would just kind of switch from pattern to pattern to pattern to pattern overall. But this is the one that we're in right now is exactly what you want to see. And I'll show you a couple of things why this, is actually a good place to be right now. One way to measure actually how, what this is going to look like is you tend to measure the flagpole, right, of this bull flag right here. So a lot of people are kind of analyzing this right now and putting this out there. And then you put this around where we could possibly break out, whatever. And it's not like, spot on, but it generally gives you an idea of where the target would be, right? So this would actually be upwards of about $80,000 would be the next high of here. And other, with TA specifically, it's not a crystal ball by any means, right? It's just like that's one indication of, okay, we possibly will see a move higher soon. And then you kind of like stack indicators and other ideas.
4,400 ETH.
Is it 44?
That's what we're being told in the chat. That's what I'm going to check. Keep going. I don't want to stop you. Keep going.
I was going to say we might have to switch over to that, but yeah, all in all, this is a good thing right here, right? So one thing I did want to show is that, we do have like technical targets that come into play too with Fibonacci extensions and all. And I'm going to go actually back here and kind of show you something pretty interesting, right? So if we take the high right here of what was this, June 15th, and you pull it down to the low and you kind of cruise over here, you see that these levels right here, these are, as we're coming down, these are levels. 0.382 is like a 38% retrace, 23, and so on and forth. These are percentages right here. Up top here, you actually branch into targets as you move forward, right? So if we're coming back here, you would actually have a target base ahead of that, and that's what starts right here. And you can see where we had the high here and the low here, and it actually nails the top of this move about 53K right here at the 2. And between this 1.618 and this 2 is generally where most targets are, set for. So in a parabolic rise, we tend to see this 2.272 get hit. But this 2 is very interesting, and I'll show you what I mean by that right now. So this 2 is the target for this swing right here. And if we take that off right there and do it again from the 53 high, we come down to the low we had a few weeks back. You cruise over. Once again, 2 comes right into play, 67K. It was a little bit of a blow off top, so to speak, whatever. So we might not be completely done with this retrace right here. I think that we are, however, because we came into a pretty serious level of support that I've been waiting on, and it's known as the daily 21 EMA. And we'll get into that here in a minute, but I just want to show that the next target of this would be, right, we were just looking at 80K, right, for that flagpole. And if you take the high, and let's just say this is the low where we're at right now, this 2 comes in right at about 76K, and then the 2.272 would be $79,000. So that would be right on, par for the next kind of highs to come. However, you're still going to see this along the way, right? Even before we got to the actual high, you get to a target, a level right here, and you get a retrace, and a level right there, and you get a retrace. So more than likely, we'll hit this 1272 about 69K, right? If we
I just recognized something, Paul. I just learned something. I always learn something when I'm doing TA because it's the weakest point of my crypto game, right? I was always under the impression that on a bull flag, you basically had just 1, maybe 2 really large volume bars, like maybe on the daily or whatever, and then shooting off from there. What you just showed was multiple days with up, down action, up, down action, up, down action. I thought it was only like 1, maybe 2 huge wicks and then coming back down. It can be a whole pattern over a month or whatever is what you're saying then.
Yeah, I mean, you can have these on any time. I mean, what you're talking about is when you more so see it on the small, like an hour or a half hour. It does tend to just look like one flat, one, like you look to the Shiba chart right now. I'm sure that's what it looks like, right? Like just one sheer volume straight up, and then consolidation to the side. But yeah, I mean, so that's that's a quick overview of where I'm looking at Bitcoin to kind of head here. And to answer that other person's question, I mean, yes, technically we're still in a downtrend, right, until we break out of this level. But generally, we're getting pretty close to that. We're hitting key levels of support, below us. And we've also had a 10-15% pullback, which is all I've been expecting anyways at this point in the bull run, as we're in a totally different situation right now than a normal piece of the run, right? And we're in the final stage, the blow off top, the Q4, whatever everybody wants to call it. And regardless of what you want to think about it, you can tell the writing is on the wall right now about how all the hype is coming in. You're getting Coinbase is once again the top app, right? You're taking over. You got everybody piling into Shiba at 10x, 10x on the month, and people are still buying it up. So you can tell that the hype is here. So I just want to pull up
those are definitely big signs of massive hype and FOMO. People jumping back into the crypto space when you see all this Shiba frenzy, right? Just eating up all the Shiba, no matter chasing green candles day after day, thinking they're gonna get rich overnight.
Right. And that's the one thing, with Shiba specifically, man, I'm happy for anybody who's been making money. The problem I see with Shiba, and it's the same problem we had with Doge last run, like people, we could take this off. I mean, we can come back to this in a second, but we, in 2017, which, all three of us were there. So the thing is that I remember that, you remember that, new people coming in the market, they don't know what that was like. And the thing is that most people right now, coming in, they didn't just go through the May crash with us. They didn't go through the September, which it wasn't even a huge sell-off for September, but the altcoins took a 50-60% hit, some of them, right? Like it wasn't that bad for Bitcoin and Ethereum, but it was pretty detrimental if you were holding altcoins still through all that. Most people just got back to break even from May, and then another 50% drawdown, right? So it's pretty discouraging for the average person just holding and whatever. Now anybody just walking into crypto just walks into up only season pretty much. And so
one-way street, one-way chart.
Right. And the thing is that the people that are coming into Shiba and all this and all that, they I think that Doge set the stage, and I think we talked about this last time, is that Doge was the one where even all of us at some point were like, it'll never hit $1 or it'll never hit whatever, and it obviously did, right? So the market cap and all that and the circulating supply is so different between Doge and Shiba. But whatever, like new people coming in don't even pay attention to that anyway. So the number one debate whenever you say to somebody that's holding Shiba or buying Shiba or whatever is, it's probably not going to get to that penny, at least this run, right? Maybe the years down the road, because even Dogecoin didn't get to a penny last cycle, right? It took 5 more years before it got to that exponential, level that it got to, and you would have had to hold it 90% down, which everybody's not going to do, but they're gonna get a taste of that. My problem with Shiba, for like the people I know, my friends, my family, they're all piling into it, even though I give certain, reviews of my opinion on it, which once again is not that it's not going up, right? It's going to go up. Like it'd be fools to say like those wouldn't be going up. The problem is that, everybody thinks they're going to ride that wave until it ends, but they don't know when it's going to end. And on top of that, they're not willing to sell, right? Because some people I know are already up 10x for the month, and they're like, I'm never going to sell it. Why would I sell it? And that's a pill to swallow when that bear market does come down on everybody. So that's the only thing I have against Shiba and stuff like that. The other thing with that is, like, if you think about it, you see a lot of whale action with Shiba. Mm-hmm. So when you think about, I was talking to my wife earlier, I was like, right now Bitcoin's priced most people out. Most people I know, I mean, even us, right? I mean, you don't have a couple of $60,000, chunks to just toss into Bitcoin right now. And really, why would you, as far as like gains compared at the moment? But the people who, in order to push Bitcoin, I put a tweet up yesterday. I was like, everybody piling in at the 800, percent or 10x, up Shiba level. You just basically single-handedly funded the rally in Bitcoin, and that wasn't like a dig on anybody holding Shiba that's in profit. It was more so about the whales or people who are going to take profit out, because the average retail person is not going to take out profits and dump it into Bitcoin, but it's going to be possibly. Let me see that. You're talking about, the big players though that got in at the bottom of Shiba, and now they're up exponentially. They got plenty of room now to take that out and run up Bitcoin, because the average person is not coming in to buy Bitcoin right now, is what I'm getting at. They're going to come in, they're attracted to this really shiny, cheap, get millions of coins, whatever, dump all the money in. So that's bringing new money into the market. Like, how would you get new money coming into Bitcoin, I guess, is the question. And it's like, well, we'll pump one of these, you know, the shiny dangling carrot that everybody's going to want. And you can tell that that's the case. But like, look at Coinbase decided to put up on Coinbase's app. They're the number one app in the App Store now. And on it, it says you can buy of any 3 coins they could have listed, or of any one additional coin they could have listed with Bitcoin, Ethereum on their banner. It's Shiba. So you know exactly what they're doing. You know exactly what they're doing. So
that's the problem. That's the problem, that people fall into crypto because they hear somebody talking about Shiba on the radio. They heard Kevin O'Leary talking about it on TikTok, right? They heard somebody big talk about Shiba. They see the exponential rate that it's been growing at. They see one of their friends say, hey, I just 3x'd my money on Shiba and I bought it 3 days ago. And they're like, wait a minute, what? I want some of that. They have no fundamental education in crypto at all. They just try to chase green pumps and green candles, and they end up just getting burned at the end of the day, because like you said, CVO, they don't ever plan on exiting. They just plan on holding forever. Somebody was asking me about it in my TikTok when I was live earlier today. Oh, should I hold Shiba throughout the bear market, because everything goes up and down anyways? It's like, guys, you do not want to be holding Shiba throughout the bear market. If you just look back a couple of months ago, you saw what happened to Shiba. It's a miracle that Shiba has even survived that gigantic catastrophic drop that it had, and it has resurged with a bunch of new FOMO now, but that's not going to happen throughout the bear market. Everybody that holds that will be hurt drastically.
So I did I did a video late last night, right before it jumped off. I did a video on Shiba. I don't know if you saw it or not on TikTok, but I was being very emotional, but I was being dead serious, telling people, Shiba people, please take profits, because at the end of the day, there's going to be a whole bunch of people that just disappear into the darkness, and we're going to be nowhere to be found, and they will disappear from crypto as a whole because they've gotten wrecked so hard. And so you would not believe, actually you would believe it because you know how this goes, but you would not believe the amount of hate that I was getting in the comments. Oh, you're an idiot. Don't listen to this dude, blah, blah. I mean, just literally like hateful stuff, right? And I literally, to a lot of them, and I actually did a video responding to one of the comments, which I don't normally do, but I did on this one. It wasn't even a hateful comment that I responded to, but the reality is, I'm rooting for people to make money, right? We have the debatecrypto.academy, right? We have the academy. And what we are doing is educating new people in the market. Like that's our whole thing. Educate. We do seminars every Sunday. And so why would I not want to pass that along to other people? I want people to win. And the reality is, yes, people get lucky. Yes. Shoot, if you don't think 900% in a month and you've never invested before is lucky, you have no idea. But you also wouldn't believe you could see so much lack of education in all of the comments, people saying, well, I'm just going to hold it until the middle of next year. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. You do understand that the middle of next year, we're going to be in a bear market. That is the last thing that you want to be holding is a meme coin through a bear market. That's a terrible idea. If anything, if you think it's going to stick around, you buy it at the bottom of the bear market or as close to as possible, but not holding a meme coin on the way down. So in any event, all that just to say, I really want people to win, right? And part of winning means taking profits. And part of taking profits starts off with just pulling back your initial investment. It's such a simple thing to do. You hear so many people talk about it, but Miguel and I have talked about this before too. It's such a simple thing to do, but it's also very hard to do because people look at it and say, wait a minute, I'm taking half of my ability to make profit off of the table. What would you say to somebody that's new in this that says, listen, why would I take my initial investment back? I get the idea of wanting to play with quote house money, but I'm taking half of my ability to make gains back. What would you say to that person, Paul?
That's the thing, right? I mean, we risk that at any point. And I think the confusion comes with like, once again, anybody that's putting out anything like that to these meme coins I'm not against anybody making money. I'm, like you said,
Yeah.
I'm thrilled, man. If people, and especially because actually a few of the people that I know personally were able to, they just jumped into Shiba. They jumped in with a lot more than they probably should have, but they 10X this month. And I was like, man, I was like, that most of the market underperformed, for the last, and it was the other day, right, when Shiba's pumping and everything else had actually dumped like 20%. I was like, you could just hold on to that. I'm sure it'll keep going up if you like, but I was like, you could also throw that into something else that's, Chainlink or, anything else that's, at least at this point, everything's going to run for the next 90 days. At least 10x, right? So like, most things at least, right? So Shiba, if it's got another 10x in it, which probably does, honestly. I was like, why wouldn't you just want to be in this? Because the thing is, the people that will fall in love with this thing, right? And I see some people in the chat, right? They're saying they've been throwing, and same thing. You're getting like, bashed right away because you're like, oh, I've been making money, and that's awesome if you've been making money. My problem is for the few people, not even few. There's more. Safe Moon is a perfect example, right? How many you see these, millions of dollars being made from $100, which is awesome. But you would have had to buy the floor, right? Like, 10x ago, 100x ago, whatever it is. So like the person putting in $100 now is not going to make that much for one. And for two, it's like out of 1 million people that invest into these things, maybe 1,000 actually cash out in profitable, areas, and everybody else holds too long because they're getting in too late. And then they're holding for valuations that they're just kind of making up. You know what I mean? So, in order to for Shiba specifically at this point too, we're in a position in this bull run where it's it, right? We're in the final show. This is literally the main event, right? And what I mean by that more than anything is that December through January, the term mother of all altcoin seasons is like probably a downplay, right, for what we're about to go through.
Yeah.
And she was going to run with it. I guess like what I get to say with that is like more so like a don't marry the project kind of deal. And people marry a project when they make money from it, right? It doesn't matter what it is, what it's about. And, going back to the idea of just kind of taking a step back and like looking at it, like, why is there so much marketing for Shiba? Like, why has Shiba been chosen to draw the most amount of people in? You got to think about that, right? Like, this is a business at the end of the day. This is about making money. Doesn't matter what projects you like or what it is, what it isn't. You hit a bear market because, once again, at the end of this, it's all about the guy who bought, the bear market lows is going to dump on the entire, the herd is what it really is, right? It's the people that are coming in late. So I don't know. That's just kind of what I usually throw out there. Like, Shiba is a great trade. Don't get me wrong, but it's everybody, and my other issue with that is I see a lot of people adding to it, right? Adding on the way up. And it's just like, that's not necessarily the right way.
You're the best time.
Yeah, you throw $100 in and you roll the dice. That's perfect, right? Like you're probably going to be all right. You're not going to lose, your house over $100. But let's be real, most people aren't just putting $100 into this stuff, right? Like there was somebody reached out to me the other day and they wanted to put like some big money into Shiba of all things. After it rallied like that, right? So it's just so attractive. It's just
because everybody wants to get rich quick, man. Everybody wants to get rich quick, and what you were saying earlier, right? Coinbase, out of all the ones to put on its little thing on the App Store, said Shiba. Why? Why is Shiba such a high motivation? Exactly, transaction fees. It's a business. They're not promoting Shiba to you on Coinbase because they think Shiba is a great project. They're promoting it to you because they know the transaction fees will be there, and that's where they make all their money, guys. Same thing with Robinhood and Doge, right? Same exact thing. Transaction fee, transaction fee, transaction fee. Nothing is free in this world. Nobody's giving you this because it's a great project. They're just trying to make money off of you and your mistakes. They're going to make money when you sell for a loss. They're going to make money when you buy at all-time highs.
Exactly.
So, dude, CVO. So, ETH is pumping, right? If you said Bitcoin 100K by Turkey Day. So, if 100K by Turkey Day happens, where is ETH going to be sitting at by Turkey Day?
Man, ETH has been so hard to, it's like so I originally anticipated Ethereum to just kind of, trend, which it kind of has, right? It hasn't broken, but Bitcoin hasn't broken its all-time high either, I guess, at this point. So it's kind of hard to say like that, it's doing anything different than Bitcoin at the moment. But I was expecting Ethereum to just trend sideways, right? Till Bitcoin pretty much made its move to about 80, 90, 100K. And then basically from there, at the time when Bitcoin breaks or hits this 100K level, it's, there's probably going to be some massive profit taking from, once again, like, the major investors, right? They're going to start scaling out right on the way up. And then from there, that's kind of when, in the past, when we've seen all the altcoins completely, just launch. That's when, Ethereum is broken out. That's when, all the large, just everything just launches at the same time. And that's like middle of November time, right? Which that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be the middle of November, but it's just been that time frame usually. So it's interesting that we're coming up on November. It's a couple days away, and Ethereum hasn't broken all-time highs. Bitcoin really hasn't broken all-time highs. Plan B's got his $63,000 Bitcoin target for October, which is more than likely going to hit, regardless. Even if we do get a spike up to 70K or 67, retest the high, I'm sure we'll get a pullback and close the month on Sunday by 63, 65. So it's interesting, but for Ethereum, to answer that question, I'll go ahead and split this up again. So all right, we got this deal right here, right? So what I'm looking at here is every major altcoin, by the way, looks like this, right? It has this huge cup and handle pattern. Essentially, we've kind of broken out a little bit from this, but we really haven't broken the all-time high. We made a new higher high right here, so that's pretty decent indication of an uptrend. So you want to see that, but otherwise we've just kind of been trending sideways, right? I don't know how well you guys can see this on there.
Yeah, guys, and for everybody that doesn't know, a cup and handle is a bullish pattern once you start breaking out from the
and essentially, the way you'd measure this is you from the neckline, you go down to the bottom here, and you'd kind of raise it up. I put the neckline probably a little lower than it should have been, but that's kind of like the measured move would take it up to about this area for this pattern, and it wouldn't just go straight up. Once again, this would be if we break out of this, I imagine we kind of. I think we'll see about $5,000 when Bitcoin gets to 100K. I think ETH will be about 5K. And then we'd come back and we'd retest the previous all-time high, about $4,000. And then we'd continue higher. And then I think when Bitcoin's topping out around, I've showed this in the last one, and I'll show it again, right? So I'm just looking left, right? Looking at previous history here, and not like the exact dollar for dollar and percent for percent, but just these levels are respected, right? So this is the 2017 market right here. And we'll go ahead. We're going to do this little fib retrace here, right? So this gives me the levels that we're looking for right here. And essentially, just when Bitcoin was rallying in 2017, it was is this it right here? I'm sorry, got the wrong spot here. All right. When Bitcoin was rallying, right? So I'll kind of break this down in a quick little overview. Is that this was the summer high in 2017. This was September. This was our September pullback, like we just had, very similarly. And then we kind of trended sideways, right? So I was kind of looking for similar price action to this, because we honestly pretty much did this exact movement over here this time around, right? You can't see it right here, but it was basically, you had the same situation, right? We had our summer high, our low, our September high, and we didn't quite come down as low on September, but we, pretty much had that same structure all the way through. So in the same period, this is now October time, and Ethereum just kind of trended sideways. And then right here, this is the time frame when Bitcoin topped out around where the equivalent to today would be about 90 to 100K. And then basically Bitcoin goes through a pretty decent pullback. And from there, the profits transfer over to the altcoins, and then we see Ethereum break out and continue higher. So this little move right here would be the equivalent of taking us up to $5,000 ETH, and then retrace, so on. And this would be about this is the December timeframe back in 2017. This is the December high for Ethereum when Bitcoin tops, right? And then this is so what I'm bringing this up for specifically is that I'll show you where these levels would be on the current chart, right? So
but you're saying that you're extrapolating out that you would see Bitcoin making literally a 66% move, because from where it's at right now, a 66% move would put us right there, right at about 100K. You're saying there's going to be a 66% move, but you think the move on ETH is only going to be 25%. You think it's not going to be that much different? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And perfect example of this is I'll take you back once again just to kind of show you what we've seen in the past too, right? So Bitcoin in the 2017 run, right? During that same time I just showed you when ETH was trending sideways, it was from this point to this point for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin in that time frame rallied 170% during that run, while Ethereum just completely went sideways. So I don't think we'll see a run that much, but from where we are today to just run up to 100 at 40, 50%, whatever you just said. I think that's exactly what we'll see, because what will happen is that the majority of people the spotlight will be on Bitcoin, right? Like we kind of saw that a few weeks back where in the first week of October, right? All the only Bitcoin is running and everybody was freaking out because none of the alts were moving and this and that. And everybody didn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden, obviously the altcoins did catch up to it. But in here, like I said, I've kind of gone through this a few times, so I'm sorry if it's getting jumbled up. But long story short, 2017, just like I showed earlier with the targets for Bitcoin, right? How we were hitting the 2 level on these fib levels. We basically topped for Ethereum at the 2, right? So December came up to this 1.618, a retrace, and then January was the 2, right? So those targets for where we are today, same time frame, I would imagine that we're going to get, and if we get this breakout on Ethereum any sooner, I mean, things can change a little bit for this, but like right now we actually have a measured move that goes upwards of $6,000. So let's just say, even if it's between 5 and 6K by when Bitcoin hits that $100,000 mark.
Right.
But I would imagine that that's exactly, what we're going to look for, right? Is like 5,000, 6,000. We're going to come back down and retest that all-time high, though. That's the thing. So if we get this massive breakout and you miss it, I would wait for the retest of the all-time high, right? So it's going to look a little something like, like this, right? Where we'll kind of break out. We'll probably hit 5,000, or this move right here, which is the first target. You can't see it's behind here. It's about $6,000, which just so happens to be that measured move, right? And then we'll have a retest of the previous all-time high, probably at the middle of November, whatever. Then we'll have the rally with Bitcoin. And Bitcoin will top out in December time right here, about $8,000, right? Then we'll have probably a little pullback with everything. And then the January top for Ethereum with all the altcoins would be around this target right here, about $11,000 to $13,000. So that's my Ethereum overview in a nutshell there.
Nice. I see, man, ETH just hit all-time highs a few minutes ago. For those of you that weren't watching, we did just bust up over 44 and then dropped back down. I think we really just wicked up over it, depending on what chart you were looking at. But I think it's really interesting. The thing that I find so interesting, Paul, CVO, is that I've been thinking about this since you said it, like last time. So many people are going to get shaken out on there's going to be a lot of movement, right? And people are going to see, so my plan to take profits at about 100K, that's my plan. That's what I'm doing, right? Because that's what I believe to be the top. And if it goes to 200K and I'm wrong, okay, I missed 100% move, right?
I'll be there.
But if I'm right, I plan on selling close to what I believe to be the top. But the reality is, and this is the other reason that I'll be doing that, because as much as I believe in it, because that's the move that I believe that's happening, the move that you're looking at from 100 to 70, that move right there, for me, and you'll hear it when it happens, will be me calling what I believe to be the confirmation of that move back down. And I might be wrong, right? That's why I never, ever, ever, and I make it really clear with people, listen, this is pure speculation. This is speculation, right? And I think so many people just don't have that game plan. Miguel and I talk about it all the time. They don't have a game plan. This is the same thing with Shiba. People are saying in the chat over in TikTok, why are you guys hating on Shiba? We're not hating on Shiba. And I want to make that really clear. We want everybody to make money. But a lot of people get in having no plans, having no knowledge of what they're actually doing. And that's not a diss. That's just calling a spade a spade. And we want you guys to win. We want you guys to get yourself educated and make better decisions. And if we can help in that process, that's literally what we're here for. Guys, if you are in the chat, X out of the chat, make sure that you guys smash up the likes. If you're not following CVO, if you're not subscribed to CVO Crypto, it's CVO Crypto on both TikTok and YouTube. Make sure you guys are subscribed to him. Follow him on TikTok. That is who you guys are hearing talking. Besides, obviously, BlockchainCrusader. You guys all know that that's me and my business partner there. But smash up the likes, guys. We appreciate it.
So we have people in the chat saying, "Well, everybody thinks about selling the top." Yes, finding that top, it will be difficult, but it's going to be impossible if you have no game plan, right? That's why this technical analysis that CVO does is so important. It is one way of having a game plan to know what price point he's going to be selling or anyone's going to be selling, to have a game plan. If you have no game plan, if you just wait for the moment to inspire you, like, well, I think I should sell now, it might be a little bit too late for you. Just as quickly we go up, we quickly come back down. We also see that Coinbase and a lot of centralized exchanges have downtime when all this surge of crypto prices start pumping. They all start going down. If you don't have your sell orders in, you're not going to be selling that price point. You're going to get locked out of your exchange, and that's how you miss the top. So yes, the top is very hard to find. The top is very hard to know when to sell. But that's why TA is important, and educating yourself is important, to have a game plan of a price target that's okay with you, whether you do it through TA or you just decide, hey, if it hits this target, I'm selling. Stick to that plan, put in that sell order, and get ready. Have a game plan. If you don't, you will miss the top 100% of the time.
Yeah. So the thing with me too, and once again, this is just my plan. Everybody can do whatever, but I feel that, and once again, I've had a 200 to 250 at least target for Bitcoin for so long that, to me, I guess I just imagine, because that's just what's normal to me at this point, that I feel that everybody thinks that. And then when we were back in June and all this and all that, everybody was dogging it and whatever. And then I started to see some more people kind of adopt the idea now. And I thought it was just going to, that kind of almost made me nervous, being like, man, maybe if everybody does expect 200, 250, that it's probably not going to happen, or there's going to be some issue around there or whatever. But then I realized real quick that the majority of people, 100%. So right now, what you said earlier, you said, you want to have a plan and this and that. So my plan is 1,000% that, I'm going to be taking profit and everything in January, right? I have Ethereum is my target, right? When Ethereum gets to the $10,000 to $13,000 level I just showed you, that's when I'm completely selling out of everything, and I'll be scaling out.
What's more important to you, Paul? I don't mean to cut you off, but what's more important to you, the time or the dollar amount?
Both. So if we start cracking up to $13,000 in December, I mean, that'll be a little bit of a reevaluation, but at this point, everything's just so on track. And what makes me more confident, I guess, at this point, and once again, Nick, nothing, if for Bitcoin specifically, I don't think it matters, because once again, the altcoins are going to run after that anyway. So like you said last time, it's like, whoever's selling Bitcoin, you kind of have to nail that top, or you kind of have to not nail the top. You're not going to nail the top, but you kind of have a different, you're the front runner, I guess, right? Because the alts are going to run after. So no matter what, like if you're in altcoins, you're going to somewhat see, when Bitcoin gets hit. But what I'm saying is that I'm anticipating Bitcoin to get hit at 100K, take a 30-40% hit, and that's going to appear to be the top.
Yeah.
Alts are going to run for a month, and that's going to be normal to everybody. And what everybody will do is that they'll start taking profits out of their alts, which is, once again, if everybody's taking profits and if you're up substantially, blah, 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 that's great. People who've been in since 4, 5, 6, yourself, you've been in since 2017 or before, like myself as well. So I'm not looking to get greedy at the very end and soak up every last dollar and whatever. And I have a total bear market plan and all this and all that. Like you said, you have a plan. The thing is that most people entering the market right now do not have a plan. And if they do have a plan, their plan is sell when Bitcoin gets to 100K. Altcoins a little bit later. So let's just say 100K comes in, we get a big dump. Altcoins run for 2 weeks pretty well. People start selling out. Well, like I said before, the real altcoin to me, the real altcoin season, the mother of all altcoin seasons, the 28-day span where previously we saw Tron run 150x in 28 days. Previously, where we saw, Ripple run 15x, after, in total about 160x in the same time. I mean, like you saw incredible. Those were large cap coins at the time too. That's not the micro caps, right? So you can only imagine where when I pull up some of these targets here, and people get all like, oh, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. You don't have enough time and whatever. But once again, like I'll pull up the Tron chart right now. That's my favorite one to pull up. But what I will say is that people will most likely sell out early, and that's totally fine. But then they'll buy back in, because what happens when you got a plan and you get punched in the face, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You start turning around and seeing 10x moves from what you just sold out of, and the market is still completely bullish and all this and all that. And you got Tom Brady pushing NFTs now, and you got every person around you. Coinbase is the number one. All your friends are making money in Shiba. You're the fool for selling out early. Blah 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 blah. Like you're going to buy back in, and then at that point too, we get to the position where now it's very. Is the adoption here, right? Is things different? Is the ETFs going to make a difference? And blah, 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 blah. And everybody gets trapped back in later, right? At a higher rate that sold early. So that's one idea. Yeah. The other idea is that anybody that did stick it through also gets hung up on the idea that adoption's here. This is going to continue. Why should it fall? There's no fundamental reason why this is going to happen. So you have two issues that I think people are going to fall into. Is that one, people are going to sell too early, which there's nothing wrong with that, except for the people that buy back in at a higher rate, thinking that they messed up. The other one is that people are going to absolutely refuse to sell near the top, because they're going to be blinded by their greed, right? So this Tron chart, man, is like, and the only reason I bring up Tron, I wish there was a better example, and maybe I'll find one, but there's not many things back then that you can view against fiat, against the dollar. Everything else is kind of viewed against Bitcoin, right? Because we couldn't even trade against, you couldn't even trade against, dollars for the most part back in the day. So Tron comes out, right? This is on the daily time frame, and it was a newer coin at the time too. Right?
I remember.
I remember Tron, bro.
This is the stupidest thing. This is the stupidest chart I've ever seen.
It was gangster, right? So I'm just gonna walk down memory lane here. So this is October 2017, right? And right here, this is a daily chart. So this might look like nothing. But just like we're seeing right now in some of these altcoins, that you get these 100% moves, 80% move, you got lossless and you got whatever. This is October 2nd, right? You got a 80% rally, okay? And let's go down to here. You got October 22nd, 65, right? Like, and it's coasting, right? This is where you really want to be picking up the most, and it's going to be discouraging and boring because other things are popping off around you. Bitcoin's topping, whatever. And you get to this portion right here, December 6th. Now we get to, in one single day, if you're not in your altcoins by what is going to be considered the mother of all altcoin seasons, this one daily candle is 100%. The next day, so if you didn't get in there, you're probably going to wait for a pullback, right? The next day, it's already up to 180. 4 days later, it's up to 280. 6 days later, it's 10x, right? And this is almost every altcoin, what it's going to look like. What is it? 10 days later now, you're at 30, 33x, and then 28 days go by, and this is 150x gainer in 28 days.
And then people were buying that. They're like, I didn't buy any of the other stuff, so I'm going to buy now, and then boom.
Let me clarify on one thing, though. If Bitcoin is your indicator, which I think for most people it is, let me say two things. One, Bitcoin at 100K, a huge reason why so many people believe that is BitBoy Crypto. Let's be real. Okay, that's just a fact. He is the biggest. He is the best well-known. A lot of people do like and respect him, and that's what he's calling for. He says he's got, somebody that on the inside. So a lot of people respect and believe that. So that's a huge part. But the second thing is, and this is how I look at it. I first of all, I got in a lot earlier than a lot of people, right? And so my gains at 100K are significantly different than a lot of other people's are going to be.
You're not going to buy back in later. You're not going to care.
Exactly.
You're different than the person flooding in to get rich quick. That's the idea.
But part of the reason why I won't buy back in, Paul, and this is really simple, because 100 to 200K is 100%, right? But going the other direction, if you try to buy back in, you are going to get smashed significantly harder than you will just trying to take that extra little bit of risk, and it just doesn't make sense.
So
But the altcoins are a different story.
And that's all I mean. So anytime I mention Bitcoin, it's because liquid death's the best. Yeah. Anytime I mention Bitcoin is because that I'm not talking about Bitcoin, I guess, but Bitcoin's going to top. Everybody correlates the top of Bitcoin, obviously, with the top of the altcoin market 1 month later is the idea, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
my thing is that, yeah, you why would you buy? I personally, I don't even have any Bitcoin now, except for a few leverage trades that I'm just leveraging up to dump into altcoins, right? I have 0 Bitcoin in spot, 0 Ethereum, right?
That's a damn shame, by the way. I'll pray for you.
Yeah. But what I was just saying is that the Tron chart is what I'm more so saying is that, if you're in something like Tron and Bitcoin, you think it tops at 100K, and then Tron has a little 300% rally, right? Like awesome gains in the middle of November. And then you sell it because you're like, it's about that time, right? Like it's always 1 month later that the altcoins stop after Bitcoin tops. So I'm going to sell out. So everybody sells out. Well, then Bitcoin starts recovering. And there's even a short period of time where they'll probably be talking about a dead cat bounce. That'll be the next one until you pop through. And I have this chart pulled up right here, but I'll talk about it in a second. But it's the altcoins that I was talking about that are going to make you worry because, like I said, in December, when it comes through and everything is popping 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus X, and you sold out of it 10X ago, it's going to mess with some people's heads, right? So, because everybody's, it's because the idea will not be that the top is coming. I know that that's what everybody thinks they're going to think. They're going to get tricked into the idea that it's going to continue on forever. And if you don't buy in now, it's going to be up 30X by the time you do or whatever. So that is where everything will shift to, right? So, and that's just what I see coming.
You got to manage your greed. 100%. You have to be able to manage your greed.
Yes.
So I guess that's where I'm coming from with that. Like, and once again, I'm not trying to be greedy towards the end of this. I'm well off for this bull run. I'm very happy with everything. If 100K is the top, that is great. But like I said, the average person is not going to fare well. And once again, you're getting out of Bitcoin, so that's a totally different thing, I guess. So when I bring up Bitcoin, I guess I'm meaning more the altcoins, right? And if you pull up, I don't know if you can blow up this chart. This is just that one random fractal that I've just been dancing on for the last few weeks, right? So just for everybody that know, or for anybody that doesn't know, this is the actual price action from 2017. So this is just sheer speculation, right? But I'm just, for an example, I copied over literally from the September low of 2017 to the December high for Bitcoin. I copied over and I threw it over the current price action, right? So that's where we're at right now. All right. And I also put on here. So there's another thing that I'm always looking for the psychology of like, how are people going to get trapped? And by the way, I got tricked and trapped into this in 2017. So that's why I'm so passionate about this. It's not because I think I'm smarter than everybody else or whatever. I was a part of the herd, right? I held the bag for 2.5, 3 years. I lost my friends and family's money. I lost more money than I ever want to ever admit, unrealized, of course, but it taught me everything that that brought me up into this run here. So, but that's why I'm so passionate about this idea, man, is I'm just trying not to get people, I guess I'm trying to provide the idea set there that I never had the chance of even looking at until it was too late. So that's what this whole thing is about. So this is how everything occurred. And living this back in the day, $10,000 Bitcoin which is correlated perfectly to the 100K rhetoric. And on top of that, everybody thinks 100K is the top. So you already know that that's going to go against us some way, right? So either we're not going to make it there or we're going to cut through it like butter, right? That's going to hurt the most amount of people some way or the other. And I would imagine that we're going to get to the point where everybody thinks they're a genius. They sell the top and then they, ape back in basically. That would be my guess, but we'll see how it goes. But 10K back in the day was the 100K. All right. So, and then we went straight to 20K, right? So that's something interesting there. But right here, Plan B has some targets that BitBoy Crypto actually touched on this today, right? He was like, his last 2 targets were right. If we close out October at 63,000, which is really funny, I actually correlated this, this, and this. All 3 of those targets actually line up with this fractal in give or take a few thousand right here, but on the ends of the month. So this is October 31st. This is November 30th, right? And then this is December 28th. So not the exact 30th, but it's interesting to know because once again, just getting into the idea of what we're going to deal with coming up. picture this, right? Where right now we're going to end around whatever, I showed you earlier that 70, 74K could be a target. But if we don't get to that right now, then we bounce around between here and 63K. We close out the month in just 4 days at this point.
Paul, real quick, just for those of you that don't know, Plan B is an anonymous person that we don't know who they are, who he is, who she is. We don't know. But Plan B has been very, very accurate on a lot of different things. So that's why Paul has these pulled up. Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, guys. Plan B is Satoshi's cousin. That's why we don't know who it is.
Well, there's, that alone too. I don't know. You can get into almost conspiracy theories with that, but like, why is this person such a pseudo? I guess a lot of people on Twitter are. So, anyways, you don't know who this guy is, but he's been nailing targets, right? So to me, once again, I'm like, all right, people are gonna aimlessly follow this guy because he's been on point, right? So he's been on point. So anybody's asking, in June he created the stock to flow model. First of all, that like originally, and this was like years ago now, and that put Bitcoin at 100K by this bull run, and at $1 million in the 2025 bull run, right? So that's what he's the most popular, most famous for, stock to flow model that he pulled from the stock market and this and that. So give it a check. He's got millions of followers on Twitter. He's really well known in the space. And then when we were at our lows of about 30K back in back in whatever, July, June, he came up with a post, and you know what? I was gonna say I might even have it, but regardless, he said that worst case scenario, September's target or whatever end of the month for Bitcoin would be 43K, which is exactly where we ended in September. I think he even nailed August, but either way, September was 43. October is 63. So if we end up at 63K on the end of October, everybody's gonna freak out. I can assure you. His November target is for the end of the month, it's 98K. And then in Pompliano, Anthony Pompliano does have a YouTube or something with him, with the guy at Plan B on there. I've listened to it. It's pretty interesting. And then his December target is 135. So the December one is what interests me the most, because this is where I think everybody's going to get stuck holding the bag if we see something like this transpire, which, like I said, if I could draw out what I would imagine is going to happen, this is pretty much what I would say. And I'll walk you right through this, like I've been doing the last couple of times, right? We close out the month here. Plan B's target gets met. Everybody's feeling good and excited, thinking the bull run is going to, which it will continue, obviously. We get a pretty massive mega pump here into the middle of November, which is, once again, this is a fractal. This is information I pulled from the last bull run, 2017, and these days are correlated to basically the exact days that these happened back in 2017. So when you see October, when you see November, and when you see December, this is exactly what we did in 2017, November, December, so on. Run up here would get us around, 96, 97, 98, whatever, 90 to 100K, let's just say. Well, then this is going to be the shakeup, right? Like Nick was saying, this is going to be a 30, 40% pullback. And this is probably where our buddy Ben, at BitBoy Crypto is going to call the top of the market, right? And he's been pretty vocal about that. And that's, if it is what it is, right? And maybe he's right. But to me, I see at this point too, the altcoins will not take a hit. This is not normal Bitcoin action where Bitcoin takes a 30% dump and the altcoins take a 60% dump. Usually whatever happens to Bitcoin, twice as bad happens to all the alts. This is actually what I consider the switch, right? And this is where to me where the major players are going to start scaling out along the way to the main target, and they're going to scale out their profits from $3,000 Bitcoin in the bear market or wherever they got in and got out at. And this all transfers into altcoins. So when this dip happens, this is actually correlated with when the altcoins completely launch, right? So from this point on, everything just explodes to the upside. You get Bitcoin's final rally up here. During this time, you still got a week or so where this gets a pullback. So everybody's going to be a little confused, thinking that, okay, I'm watching my alts, I'm going to cash out. I'm going to get the top. I'm going to nail this thing. I'm not going to be, a bear market bag holder. You're going to start to get the little recoil here on Bitcoin. People are going to think it's a dead cat bounce, which is, for anybody that doesn't know, it is exactly what this is up here, where we had a top. You come down pretty substantially, and you make another rally, and you don't necessarily break the all-time high. So they're going to be expecting something like this down here. At the same time, we're going to have altcoins exploding, 200, 300%. These small caps are going to be going lossless went 700% a few weeks ago. That's going to be the normal, right? We're going to wake up to 80% gains, 100% gains in your portfolio every single day throughout this period. And once again, like, so we get to this level. Now we're like, okay, middle of November or something like that. People start taking their profits on their altcoins, thinking that, you know, they're getting close, which is great. Take your profits, all this and all that. And then we get to the end where we're kind of close to Plan B's target. Right now it's 98K. So maybe we top a little head that way. Regardless, we get to this level. And I think this is where everybody's going to get confused because you got 98K for Plan B. Maybe people have been taking their profits right here, which is great. In altcoins are going to still be completely just running, by the way. Like they don't stop at this point. The only time we're going to have a really big, in my opinion, issue with the market, a huge pullback, 40-50% for like a day would be when Bitcoin actually tops, right? So you get this run up here and then people start kind of foaming back in, whatever, maybe that's the case. And once again, if this kind of comes to be, and then we run up to $250,000. And then this is where complete madness happens, right? So this is where full scale out happens for anybody that bought Bitcoin in the bear market, the $3,000, whatever. They're exiting their positions now. This is a change in hands. This is basically switching over to all the retail traders. And if you think that the average person is not going to be buying a $250,000 Bitcoin, think again, because they can buy portions of it and they're going to be under the impression that it's going to go to $1 million, right? So
because they're going to push it off on people at that point, that 500K as this gets, and I want to remind people of this real quick. So one of the things that Paul's talking about here is confusion. And the thing that we need to remember is confusion is these institutions' friend, okay? Because if we are confused, then we can't actively, appropriately trade this. And the whole point is for these institutions to sell you and me, the retail trader, the top. And so what Paul's saying is, oh, you wouldn't think people would be buying 250. Well, let me tell you this. If we do what Paul's talking about, when we start getting up even close to 100, I am telling you, mark my words, that no matter what the end of this looks like, when we start jetting towards 100K, you will start seeing a narrative in the news that calls for a $500,000 Bitcoin this cycle. I believe that. Watch it. Mark my words. Mark this date down. It will happen. Anyone disagree with that?
Yeah. No, dude, I completely agree, right? And I want to bring it back to the Shiba topic. The same way people right now are buying the top of Shiba, no matter how much Shiba pumps, they think it's going to keep going, keep going, keep going. The same thing will happen with Bitcoin's top, with Ethereum's top. People will be buying it because everyone's going to be thinking it's going to keep going and keep going. Same thing happened to me in 2017, right? I rode Ethereum from $300 all the way to $1,400. And I said, I'm not selling now. This thing's going to keep on pumping. What are you talking about? Sadly mistaken. Rode that thing down to $80, right? And I always talk about it because it happens to everyone. It was my first cycle back then. It's a lot of people's first time in crypto, and they will fall for the same trap again. And they will buy the tops thinking it's going to go forever. There's no reason, like CVO said earlier, for no fundamental reason for it to come down. It should just keep going. It's getting massively adopted. Everyone's talking about it on the news. Everybody's talking about it here. The headlines. But those are the red flags that the end is near.
Yeah. And the thing, with that, like Tron, I bring up Tron because I lived through Tron's chart, like personally. That was my Shiba back in the day, right? So that was one that I really didn't, when you're living this day after day after day after day after day, you forget what it's like, right? To have, and one perfect example is, and I have nothing against anybody, shilling and being excited about their project and they're making money and all this, but the Shiba shillers is what I call them, right? In a sense, and it goes for anybody that just came out of the woodworks right now while we're pumping, because I remember maybe 8 of us back in the day in June, July, after May. Nobody comes out and talks about this stuff on a red day, right? So, except for my uncle Tim, the bear, but he the old crypto weatherman, but he's whatever, but he's actually pretty funny as a bull, and he does a great job. But what I'm saying about that is that you get all this. It's interesting to note that you forget about a month ago, I guess, is what it's all about, because even 1 month ago Shiba was a dead buzzword, right?
Yes.
An insta pump occurs and then out of nowhere everybody's Shiba this, Shiba that, Shiba that.
God's gift to investing.
Yep.
if that lasts 90 days, man, like that's a long time to just be rallying, pumping, and then like you don't remember what it's like for a 90% pullback or an 80% pullback or whatever until it slaps you in the face. So that's kind of where that goes from there. And
all investors have short-term memory. They have very short-term memory. When Bitcoin dropped in the summer and it had come from a 65 top, everybody thought that's it. It's over. There's no way it's going to come back up. They forgot about all the fundamentals that was happening with Bitcoin. They were completely forgetting all about the historical patterns that Bitcoin has already gone through that proved that Bitcoin's bull run will continue to go. When Bitcoin started to pump again, everybody was hyped about it. Same thing happened with Shiba. Shiba died in the summer, just recently came back less than 30 days ago. Now everyone's super excited. What happened to everybody less than a month ago with Shiba? Everybody forgot that Shiba was dead.
What about the fact that Bitcoin, number one of all cryptocurrencies, just rallied over 50%, I believe, when you do the math, over the last 22 days. It's something 45 to 50% ish over the last 28 days, 22 days, whatever. We were down at what? We were down at 40-ish, and we jumped all the way to 67, right?
Yeah.
And nobody remembers that. And then the moment it drops from the all-time high, I get the text message and the phone call that says, "Oh man, is it over? What's going on?" Like, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, wait a minute. Do you not understand that this doesn't go? And I talk about this all the time. This is not price action. This is setting you up for this. And so it needs to move. It needs to move. Yeah, just some of the price action of especially newer people to the space just don't understand that you've got to have red days if you want all your green days.
Yeah. So for me, man, like I said too, I the fundamentals, all this and all that. I mean, obviously this is an emerging space, yeah, right? This is going to be the future. It's going to mold it, but right now we are not in the time period where price is coordinated, with what the projects and what the companies are, right? That's just not where we are. We go from undervalued to overvalued to back, and that's just how it goes, right? And over time, the price does steadily rise, and it shakes, the retail person just literally is there to come in as the exit liquidity, as the institutions, whales, whatever, they're coming in, they're buying these things. They literally they prop it up themselves. They get it really excited. They offload it at a higher price to the other, to the retail. They ended up selling it back to them at lower prices. And then overall, Bitcoin's going to be $1 million, $2 million in 5 years. If everybody in this planet really realized that and could just say, all right, I'll hold on no matter what, that'd be good. They just can't. And then even thinking back, 2017, if you would have bought the top, you would be in profit, right? For most things, right?
Yeah.
So it's really, to me, it's all about it's not coincidence that right now you have all this marketing coming out for Shiba and for Coinbase and for Facebook deciding to change their name to the metaverse, and for all this stuff to be coordinated for this time of the year. Is that doesn't ring any, like, once again, like, it's just going to make everybody and everything so excited about crypto. And it's just like, this is it. It's the future. It's this and that. And like, nothing's going to ever happen bad. It's just going to keep going up. Like, you can tell the excitement is there because it's being presented to you by all your favorite celebrities, all the people you trust on the news, or all your friends and all your family. And it's just, it's really that simple, right?
It's like you said, Tom Brady is now talking about Bitcoin and NFTs, right? I think he gave a Bitcoin to the guy that grabbed his
2, I think.
Was it 2? I thought it was 1.
So.
I thought it was one Bitcoin for his
the
600th touchdown football, or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. We have not Mark Wahlberg. We have Matt Damien on a commercial for I think it was Crypto.com, I believe, or is it FTX? One of those two.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, he came out in a commercial, and he's pretty much all, he's the next big celebrity that's bullish on crypto. They got Jason Bourne in there walking around saying that, buy crypto.
Let me throw a really maybe a wild idea out there that maybe people will be able to relate to. Okay, these upper echelon elites, these institutions, these whales, they all talk. Okay, myself, Miguel, CVO, we talk privately, right?
We're on those phone calls.
Everything that we talk about in here. Now, we are very open and transparent, but it's not like every single thing that we talk about on here, we talk about in private or vice versa, right? So look at it this way. I just want to throw this out there. What would happen? I said this to Miguel this morning. If you had a bunch of schmuck people in the influencer space, and you had myself, Miguel, CVO, the blockchain boy, BitBoy Crypto. Let's a lot of the names, right? The big names. Let's say we all have a phone call. By the way, we're pretty much all in the same Telegram group. There's like 40 of us that are in the same Telegram group, and we all talk. Mac Lorden, just everybody, right? All the crypto knights, whatever. Let's say we all had a nice little Telegram chat and said, hey, let's go ahead and pump, Floki Inu or, whatever the case may be. Let's all start pushing this. All right. I promise you, we have enough push. We have enough people to pump massively a small project. Now, this is what is going on a larger scale with larger projects with these institutions and with these whales. Their whole plan is to pump up. And then the reality is they get the phone call that you don't. They get the phone call that I don't. And it says, hey,
time to sell.
Time to sell. Like I'm glad you enjoyed it while it lasts. And they believe that phone call because they are that well connected. I'm not saying everyone gets that phone call, but what I'm saying is the people that are important enough get that phone call. And let's be real, I'll finish with this thought on this. It's not insider trading because it's freaking crypto. And right now, it's not insider trading. So if you guys think that doesn't happen, I would argue that you are wrong. That
of course,
absolutely happens.
We've talked about it. Pelosi, right? Pelosi, the greatest trader of this decade is Pelosi. Some 80-year-old decrepit lady that barely can keep it together has made the best trades possible since before the fog around the world up until now. The best, most well-timed trades. I mean, this lady must be a TA genius, right? To alongside all her laws and all her stuff that she's doing, she's out there reading charts and doing research and getting all these people to do it for her and telling her when to buy, when to sell. Of course that she's getting insider information and she knows when to buy, when to sell, because those people are the people that are lining up her pockets and she's doing favors for them in Congress. And they say, well, we'll let you know when to buy, when to sell. And so if that happens in the stock market where there's all this regulation that everyone hopes is going to save the day, if that can still happen there and they can get away with it, of course that's happening in the crypto world where there are no regulations and it's just wild, wild west, survival of the fittest out here.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, at the end of the day, let's if we want to hit a couple thoughts in the chat, Miguel. At the end of the day, I just want you guys to be smart, right? We want the new investor to come in here, and we want you to be back when the next bull market comes. But too many times, people aren't back, and the reason they're not back is because they get hit so hard that they are either scared to death, physically can't do it, or they think it's a scam. And none of those three things should be on the table if we could manage our greed a little bit. If we and listen, I'm putting myself in with that. I talk about this a lot. But in May, I was going to walk away. I was going to do the stock thing and walk away in May and take profits across the board a lot, right? But up through April, ETH was pumping. We got up above 4K, and I said, you know what? No. This is going to keep going. It's going to I'm not going to stick with my plan. And I pulled a bunch of sell orders, blah. Well, you guys know the end of the story. May 12th, May 13th, whatever that was. I woke up, rolled over in the morning, and I had a 6-figure change in my portfolio overnight. And I said, what did I do? Well, listen, that would not have happened had I have managed my greed and stuck with my initial game plan. And if I can do that after being in this for years, if Miguel can do this after being in this for years, if Paul can do this after being in for years, right? It happens. It does happen. It can happen, but it doesn't have to happen. And that's why we are here. That's why we want to educate you guys. That's why we want to help you make better decisions.
And the problem with the bear market too is that a lot of people, whether they get profits now or not, they go away and they forget about crypto completely, and they think Bitcoin and crypto completely dies out. I've had people from the previous, when I was in the previous bull market, talking to my friends, right? The bear market was multiple years. And then when things started to pump and I was still talking about Bitcoin, they're like, wait, that's still happening? Like Bitcoin's moving again? I thought I died already. I thought that was over. It's like, no, the bear market doesn't mean time out, game over, go away. We'll call you when the next game starts. And the problem is that a lot of people do that. They go away, they completely forget about crypto, and then they come back in chasing green candles, chasing the pumps. So once they start seeing the headlines that Bitcoin pumped 50% or Shiba Inu or whatever new cousin of Shiba comes out at that time period is pumping like crazy. Oh, wait, crypto's still back. Okay, now I'm gonna throw my money at it, and then you're gonna go through all these retracements throughout the bull market and say Bitcoin's a scam, crypto's a scam, I'm losing all my money. Instead of educating yourself throughout the bear market, if this is your first cycle, learning fundamentals, dollar cost averaging. If you don't know how to trade, at least you can dollar cost average at the lowest points in the bear market, getting ready for the bull market, and then you can sleep soundly throughout the bull market. Because if you dollar cost average, at least minimum at dollar cost average towards the later part of the bear market when prices are completely depleted, in the bull market, when you have this 50% retracement like we did in May, I didn't feel it in my portfolio. Yeah, my portfolio numbers dropped, but I was nowhere near actually getting any losses. I was still I still had unrealized gains there sitting massively. Absolutely. So that's what you guys need to be doing. Minimum at that.
Instead of what I'm getting now is messages that I'm either hearing Cat Girl or the new one, Sanchu Inu, which is another.
You mean Saitama? Saitama?
No, it's called Sanchu Ibu, like SANSHU Ibu. It's literally Shiba's brother that apparently has a DEX or something. I don't freaking know. I'm just saying that's not what should be focused on, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. That's not what should be focused on. We should be focusing on educating, doing better, being better, and then if we want to make some gains and gamble along the way, that's fine. Paul, leave us with some parting thoughts. First of all, what do you see? Give me what we always kind of finish off with you. Give me a short-term outlook through tell me from now until this weekend, like the end of the weekend. Are we going to have a pump over the weekend? Tell me that. And then next week, we look like until we see you next week.
Switch me over there. Man, the weekends are tough, and this one's a big one, right? So this weekend coming up is important because and I don't think it'll be bad by any means. I think that it'll be actually very good. I think we're going to close higher than we should on a monthly basis. And I'll tell you what that needs to be. But Sunday this week is the end of the week and it's the end of the month. So that is two pretty big daily, weekly, and a monthly close all bundled up into one. So that'll be a pretty interesting time frame. I don't know what will for Bitcoin. I do imagine we probably might see a decent pump like tomorrow, right? Like if we're going to get a pump. We got this. This is the daily time frame here. So we've been kind of dancing around these like bearish and bullish engulfing candles. So like this kind of like is little short-term trends. So when you get a red candle that eats this entire green one, that kind of puts you in a little downtrend, and then you get so we just closed our day to yesterday technically at 8 p.m. tonight, so an hour or two ago, and we closed it. Engulfing this one. So now we're kind of in and this could be just literally one day though, this could be a 1 day little trend at the end of the day. But all in all, I would imagine we're going to get a breakout. We kind of are in a sense from this pattern at the moment, but yet to be seen with that. The targets, that we went over just a bit ago was, 70, 69, at least back up to the previous high right here of $67,000 in the short term, right in the next couple of days. I think the altcoins are going to do pretty well throughout the weekend. And then on Sunday, it'll kind of probably be a Bitcoin show, right? We'll probably see some tomfoolery around the end of the day. 8 p.m. is that magical time frame. 6 p.m., the stock market reopens. And between 6 and 8 on Sunday night, because the after hours opens up at 6 p.m. Sunday night Eastern. And then 8 p.m. Eastern is when Bitcoin closes. So the CME futures open back up. And there's just always some, like I said, I call it tomfoolery, right? Like it's just, there's always some magic moments that happen.
Well, they're trying to bang the close tomorrow. I mean, that's the isn't that what they call it? Banging the close at the end of the month?
Pretty much, yeah.
When there's options expiring.
Yeah. So right here, this is where if the monthly candle closes above $58,908, which, at this point, I think we're going to see that 63K probably be at least the next level that closes at for the end of the week. We're golden, right? So this is actually on a monthly time frame. This is right now we're sitting at the highest Bitcoin has ever been on a monthly scale, right? Because you see the wicks, but where we're actually closing or where we're actually sitting on a monthly time frame, we've only closed at 59K. Even though beforehand, 65 had been a high in the intra month. 59 was really the high. So if we close this above this level, that's going to be a new higher high on a monthly time frame, and it's basically go time from there, right? So November has traditionally been a pretty decent time. 2017, right? So this is October. You get November, you get December. These are monthly candles, right? And then 2013 obviously has the same deal with a way better December, but this is November and December, or I'm sorry, this is actually October, and then this was November, and then it closed out like in the first couple of days of December back then. So all in all, I mean, things are looking good. I mean, it's just going to be some short, next couple of days might be a little shuffly to say the least, and we're kind of breaking out right now. I would imagine that tomorrow will probably be a decent day on Friday. Regardless, we'll trend sideways, give or take between 60 and 69, 70, whatever, throughout the rest of the week. So that's what I'd be looking for. And then next week when we talk, we'll probably be talking about getting close to that 100K. We'll be in the middle of November next Thursday,
I'm so looking forward to it, dude.
I can't wait, bro. I can't wait.
It's going to be awesome. Paul, we really appreciate having you on, man. It is a pleasure. We are, Miguel and I know enough TA to get ourselves in trouble, right? Like we can look at some charts and say, hey, this is bullish, this is bearish. You know what? Maybe I'm going to make a trade on this. I'm looking at volume. I'm looking at RSI. I know some indicators, right? I know a few things. Uncle Tim taught me a class or two. Okay,
Uncle Tim.
CVO's taught me a class or two, right? So we know enough for that, but it's a pleasure to have somebody on that their trading strategy is in the technical. So we really appreciate having you on. Crypto fam, if nobody's told you before today, we freaking love you. We hope you guys have a great night. Please, please, please be responsible. I was begging people on a video I got a bunch of hate for last night to take profits, but really, guys, I do tell you this out of love. I want you guys to win. CVO wants you to win. BlockchainCrusader wants you to win.
We want you to win, guys. We want you to put all your money into Shiba and ride it all the way through 2022, all the way to 2025. Don't worry.
Oh, guys. So, yeah, at any event, take what Miguel said, toss it in the trash, and just be safe. Be safe, guys. If we don't see you until, actually, we will be on tomorrow night. Just want to touch on this real quick, guys. Tomorrow night, about that same time, 9 p.m., we are going to have the influencer poker game, the creator poker game. And so we'd love to have you guys back. We're going to be playing hands of poker, right? We're going to be playing literally, you're going to be able to see the table. You'll be able to see all sorts of stuff, whatever. And we'll be playing poker. We'll play a number of hands. And then we've got a crypto topic on the table. And we actually want to have the chat to be interactive with it. So we're actually going to let the chat chime in and give us a bunch of like options of topics, and then we're going to pick one of them. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's a good topic. Boom. And we're going to toss the topic on the table. There's a bunch of us playing. Paul, did you figure out whether you're going to be able to play?
Yeah, I can't make it, sadly.
Yeah, so Paul, you're dead to me. So at any event, we've got a lot of other good people that are going to be playing. No, guys, we'd love to have you there tomorrow night about 9:00. Until next time, guys, hodl like it's hot.
100K by Turkey Day.
Buy Shiba and lose all your money.